You have fire in your gut? Okay, we're here for a reason to win games. So if you didn't have that fire in your gut, you better light the fire pretty fast.
And welcome back to 7 Points Podcast. My name is Jayden May, joined as always by Quentin Crisco. We're going to do our short version of bets real quick this week. We're going to go through every game in the NFL, give you the spread, give you the total, give you our bets, and give you our leans. It's going to be roughly 15 minutes, and then you'll have our entire card for the week, and you'll know all of the spreads and totals for the week and what we like. So why don't we just go ahead and get this started off?
Let's do it. Real quick, I'm up 1.5 units at 5-3 on NFL. Jay went 3-6, down 3 units, but that's going to change real quick. And then on college, I am 9-6, up 2 units. Jay is 9-5, up 3 units.
Yes, sir. So we'll go ahead and get started. We have Bills at Dolphins Thursday Night Football. I'm taking the Dolphins minus 2.5 here. It's showing a 1.5 spread right now. So I like it up to 3 with a total of 48.5. Not touching the total here, but I like the Dolphins.
And personally, I'm staying away from this one. Lean towards the Dolphins, but just the way that Dolphins defense played last week makes me kind of think they might be pretty good, but I'm still not completely sold because of their D-line. The Bills, I still need to see some more from their receiving core and how that offense is all going to operate. Ultimately, I'm staying away. Moving on to the Chargers, going to Carolina to play the Panthers. Panthers are 6.5-point dogs, total of 38.5. I'm taking the Chargers on this. I know they're going cross country, but the Panthers just lost Derek Brown, their best defensive player. I don't know if they're going to be able to stop the run without him. I think J.K. Dobbins might have 200 yards in this game. I think Harbaugh's going to keep pounding the rock. They're going to beat him up. They're going to put points on him, and I don't think they're going to give up a whole lot of points either because that defense looked feisty. Give me the Chargers minus 6.5. Jay, what do you think?
I'll lean Chargers with you, but I'm not betting this one.
Yeah. All right. Saints at Cowboys. Cowboys minus 6.5, total of 45.5. Jay?
Cowboys all the way. Saints are getting way overhyped after beating a terrible Carolina Panthers team. Cowboys looked absolutely phenomenal last week against the number 1 defense from the NFL last year. Cowboys defense looks re-energized, fast. They just do it all, and that offense looks like it's still buzzing from last year. Give me Cowboys minus 6.5, and I lean the over in this game as well. I think Saints have big play potential, but just taking Cowboys minus 6.5 here.
Mike Zimmer's going to get 2 picks off Derek Carr from the pressure they put on. Give me Cowboys minus 6.5. Next up, go ahead.
We got Buccaneers at Lions. Lions coming off a big win from week 1. Lions are 7-point favorites with a total of 50.5. Buccaneers look good week 1. Lions look good week 1. I'm staying away from this one. I want to see more from both teams before I really make a hard line. So I lean Buccaneers here, but I am taking this game. I do have Tampa plus 7. I was on the wrong game.
I was going to say
on my sheet. Yeah, I am taking Tampa Bay plus 7 here. I think they're getting a little disrespected. I was looking at my sheet wrong. Give me Tampa Bay plus 7 here. I like Tampa in this spot. I like their offensive weapons. I like what Baker's doing there. A lot of points. Played them close last year. Give me Tampa Bay.
Me too. I set this line at 3.5 before actually looking at the lines when I'm drawing it all up and saying where I think the line should be. I think Tampa plus 7 is a steal here. Those weapons they have, I think they're going to be able to put up some points on some rookie cornerbacks. And Lions might win, but 7? You think the Lions are 7 points better than Tampa? I think Tampa is a team who's going to play just about anyone they go against close. So Give me Bucks plus 7.
All right, next up we have Colts at Packers. Packers without Jordan Love, looking like they're playing
Malik Willis
at quarterback, who is a legend of Liberty University, coached by Hugh Freeze. And we have Colts Anthony Richardson, who looked phenomenal week 1, going in to Green Bay. Green Bay is 3.5-point underdogs, the total of 40.5. I am taking the Colts in this game. You convinced me. And I have them at +3. I think Anthony Richardson can get it done. I do not trust this Packers offense with Malik Willis or Sean Clifford at quarterback. So, yeah, I'm taking Colts +3 here.
I'm blown away that the spread is only 3. Like it was 3.5 when I first made these graphics. At 3 now. I think Malik Willis is just doo-doo. I don't think he's going to be very good out there. Matt LaFleur can do everything to scheme it up right. I just don't see him being a guy who's going to win this game or even keep it within a field goal. So give me Colts -3.5. That's an easy play for me.
Yeah, and I have no more bets for this week. So, everything else for me will just be leans from here on out, and I might end up taking some of these. But next up, we have Browns at Jaguars. Jaguars 3.5-point favorites with 41.5-point total. If I were to bet this game, I'd be taking the Jaguars -3.5. I thought they looked a lot better than the Browns week 1. I do not know what this Browns team identity will be. Jerome Ford looked all right week 1, but Deshaun Watson is beyond bad at this point. And the defense didn't look great. Maybe they'll look better against this Jaguars team. I do not know. But Jaguars at home is going to be hot down there in Florida. I lean Jaguars here, but I'm not taking it.
I agree. I'm leaning Jaguars, but this is one of the few mystery box games this week with two teams that I just really don't have a strong feel for one way or another. A lot of talent on the field between these two teams, primarily the Browns. A lot of talent on that roster without the quarterback. I don't know.
Next up, we have the San Francisco 49ers going to Minnesota to play the Vikings, where Vikings are 5.5-point underdogs with a 45.5-point total. This is another game I'm staying away from. Sam Darnold looks really good. This is a weird number, 5.5 at home. 49ers might have looked better than any other team in the league week 1, and I'm a firm believer that you're never as good as your best game, never as bad as your worst game. And Jordan Mason going off for 150 yards. Vikings absolutely destroying the Giants. This just seems like a weird spot to me where the Vikings go out there and keep it close. But I can't in good conscience bet on Sam Darnold to keep this game close or win. And for that reason, I'm staying away from it.
Down with the Sam Darnold oligarchs. Tired of it. He played well last week against the Giants. Giants, I actually do respect that defense some. So there's something to be said there. But ultimately, this is coming down to me looking at the defensive talent on the Vikings and saying Brian Flores can pull out great scheme, do incredible stuff. But you know what? If they don't have the talent, I don't know how you're stopping the 49ers. And I don't think they have the talent to give me 49ers -5.5.
I love that. All right, next up we have Seahawks Patriots, with Patriots being 3.5-point underdogs, total of being 38.5. I don't have a lot to say about this game. I'm not touching it.
I want nothing to do with this game. I mystery box. That's about all I can say on it. It's a giant mystery.
Yep. Next up we have the New York Jets, led by Aaron Rodgers, going to Tennessee to play the Titans. Titans are 4.5-point dogs with a 41.5-point total. This is another one where that Titans D-line looked nasty. We talked about it in depth on the pod, what their interior D-line did. Chicago was nasty. They have some good corners there. Jets, Aaron Rodgers made some throws that made him still look like Aaron Rodgers, but they don't look like they're in sync yet. And their defense wasn't nearly as impressive as I thought it would be coming into the season, so makes it hard to really tell. I lean Jets here. I think they can win by more than 4.5, but I can't in good conscience bet this Jets team until I see it for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, we talked pretty in depth on the Full Form podcast about the Titans defense. It looks like a unit that might be able to keep them in a lot of games this year, but ultimately Will Levis is your quarterback. I don't know that I can support that. The Jets, I'm still trying to get a feel for what this Aaron Rodgers-led Jets offense is actually going to be. They struggled against San Fran, so I'm staying away.
Can that be as easy as it's Aaron Rodgers versus Will Levis? Are we forgetting that part?
We are, but I just don't. I mean, Aaron Rodgers didn't do a lot last night.
But it was the 49ers. I don't know. As soon as you started talking about it, I'm like, I know we just talked about it, but Aaron Rodgers versus Will Levis. We'll move on.
Maybe it's a late ad, but we'll see.
All right, now we have Raiders going to the Ravens, 9.5-point favorites for the Ravens, 41.5-point total. Their Raiders going across country after playing a hard-fought game versus the Chargers. Back-to-back Harbaugh games for Antonio Pierce. He must have really pissed somebody off at the front office to have to play the Harbaugh brothers back-to-back weeks. I kind of like the Raiders here. I'm not betting it. I think they have too much talent to be double-digit underdogs. I mean, I understand the talent on the Ravens and everything and what just happened last week, but just look at the talent they have on offense and defense, and Gardner Minshew's a straight wild card as well. So I lean Raiders here, but it's so hard to take a team like the Raiders versus the Ravens, but that's a lot of points for the talent on that Raiders team.
Yeah, I lean towards the Raiders, but until their offense proves they can score more than 10 points, I just don't know how I can take them to cover this game, so I'm staying away.
Next up, we have Giants at the Commanders, 2.5-point spread. Commanders are favored at home with a 43.5-point total. I'm not touching the spread on this game. I might like the total for the fact that I could see mistakes on both sides of the ball, and you do have some electric playmakers on both sides of the ball. You have a Terry McLaurin, you have a Malik Neighbors, you have a Jaden Daniels that can tuck it and run at any time. You have the fastest quarterback in the league in Daniel Jones that can tuck it and run at any time. I think this game will be just shitty enough to hit that over 43.5, but I wouldn't bet this spread with your money.
Sicko game of the week. Lean towards Dexter Lawrence. That means Giants, but no, I'm sicko game.
Dexter Lawrence pick six.
Dexter Lawrence pick six. You heard it here first.
All right. Next up, we have Rams going to the Cardinals. Cardinals look good week one, covered against the Bills. Cardinals are 1.5-point favorites at home with a 49.5-point total. Rams got some injuries, and Cardinals look good. We're not sleeping on the Cardinals this year, but I don't know if I can in good conscience take them at laying points versus this Rams team just yet. Cooper Kupp looks fully healthy again. And a Matt Stafford with a healthy Cooper Kupp scares me as an underdog team, but I don't have enough confidence in it to bet them as underdogs right now either. So I'm just staying away from it totally. Maybe the over. We need Maserati Marv to get going here. So let's see some Maserati Marv touchdowns. Let's see some Cooper Kupp touchdowns.
Yeah.
Let's get a good over game that needs to go over, because we didn't get any good over games week one. But I'm not betting it.
Give me Cardinals -1.5. The Rams, those injuries, no Puka. Two offensive linemen down. I think the Cardinals defense will be able to scheme some stuff up to really take advantage of that with some of the defensive minds they have over there. And I think Marv for a touchdown is a lock this week. So give me that as well. Cardinals -1.5.
Love it. All right. Now we got Steelers, Broncos. Broncos +3. Bo Nix is terrible. And a 36.5-point total. I'm not betting this one. I don't have a lean. I probably won't even watch much of it, honestly.
Sicko game of the week 2.0. I mean, this is I can't fathom actually trying to bet this game other than maybe the over, because I think there might be defensive scores or something. Like, yeah. I want nothing to do with these offenses. I have no faith in them. Both defenses look nasty, which means it's probably going to be like a 50-point total somehow, because that's the way the world works sometimes.
It's going to be 35-30. Next up, game of the week, Bengals at Chiefs. Don't have a bet on this game. I lean Bengals. Bengals are 5.5-point dogs going into Kansas City. going into Burrowhead with a 48.5-point total. I don't think the Bengals are as bad as they showed last week. And the Chiefs have been historically slow starters with this version of Patrick Mahomes after his rookie year. So I would lean the Bengals here, but don't love it. So I can't bet this one until I see this Bengals team in action, fully healthy, everybody playing. So no bet for me here. Maybe lean towards the over, but it'll be a fun game. I'm excited for that game.
Yeah, I gotta see Jamar Chase and T. Higgins on the field making a difference before I can bet Bengals here. So I gotta lean towards the Chiefs, but I'm not taking it. Scott from Iowa, Justin Fields, 2 touchdown passes, 2 touchdown runs. We'll see. It is Denver. He's done it before.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised. Next up, we have Bears at Texans. Texans 6.5-point favorites at home with 46.5-point total. Not betting this one. I'll probably lean Texans after the way the Bears looked week 1. I have both of these teams being the 1 seed in each conference at the end of the season. So somebody's got to lose this game. But I really like what I saw from the Texans week 1. I think the Bears might go through some growing pains early on. But, yeah, so I lean Texans here, but I'm not betting it.
This one to me is as simple as the Bears are a playoff hopeful with a rookie quarterback in week 2. The Texans are a Super Bowl contender with a potential MVP at quarterback. I lean the Texans minus 6.5 as much as I love my Bears.
Yep. Then last but not least, we have Falcons at Eagles. Eagles 6.5-point favorites at home with a 47.5-point total. It's so hard to take anything from this Eagles team week 1 after playing in Brazil. And as far as the Falcons go, Kirk Cousins doesn't look fully healthy yet. Does he get healthy as the season goes on? I don't know. There's too many unknowns about this. Both of these teams right now for a spread that big, so I'm staying away from it. But I do lean Falcons just because of everything they have.
Yeah, and then so with this one, I mean, I don't know what I saw from either of these teams that gives me a lot of faith last week. I think Vic Fangio is Kirk Cousins' daddy, so I'm leaning towards the Eagles, but it's just a lean.
35-17?
35-17 Eagles, according to Scott from Iowa.
All right. Yeah, we'll knock out these college bets real quick. So I have Arizona plus 7.5 versus Kansas State. I have Bama minus 15.5 at Wisconsin. I have South Carolina at home plus 7 versus LSU. Oregon State at home plus 16.5 versus Oregon. Then I have the Tennessee Volunteers team total with Nico Iamaleava over 55.5.
And then I've got West Virginia going to Pittsburgh, covering minus 2.5. Boston College going to Missouri, covering the number at plus 16.5. UNLV going to Kansas plus 7.5. UNLV plus 7.5. Then I have Texas State on the money line at home against Arizona State. I've got Washington minus 4.5 at home against Washington State. UCF money line going to TCU. Memphis covering 6.5 points at Florida State, and Alabama minus 15.5 at Wisconsin.
And there it is. That's our picks for the week. Kept it under 20 minutes.
We'll get to 15 someday.
We'll get to 15 someday. We'll get there. All right. Thank you all. We will see y'all next week. Do not sleep on the Cardinals.
Don't do it.
And we're right in the thick of things. Week 2, baby.
That's how we've won all year, team, right? Because you held them to 20 points, man. You gave us a chance at the end. I got 3 words for you. You like that? Yeah!